Hello everyone, Moose Torrent here, and today I wanted to discuss if you might think For Honor would be a good substitute for Sekiro PvP, because obviously there's no PvP in Sekiro. I really don't think it would work very well if they did try to put PvP in there, so I'm happy with a single player experience personally, but I do need a little PvP in my life, so I'm playing Dark Souls 3 still, and obviously I'm playing some For Honor, and I just wanted to get you guys' opinion on this, or see if maybe you want to try For Honor if you have not done it yet. But a lot of people are saying they really like the multi-tiered combat system Sekiro has. And what I mean by that is you have to choose whether or not you're going to block or parry an attack, whether or not you have to dodge an attack, or whether or not you have to leap over an attack in Sekiro, because there are certain moves that opponents will do that you just can't block it. There's some sweeps, there's some thrusts, there's some grapples that you have to actually dodge. So you have to hit a certain button at a certain time, and it's kind of intricate, it's kind of complicated, instead of just smashing one button over and over again. And it can be pretty satisfying and pretty fun. For Honor has a lot of the same or similar kind of things going on when you're playing that. So if you do like that aspect of Sekiro and you do want a little PvP on the side, I think For Honor might be a good choice for you. Because in For Honor, you also block, parry, dodge, but there's also a guard break and feinting. The blocking mechanic in For Honor is actually almost 3 different buttons, I guess, depending on how you look at it. How it works is, obviously, for those of you who haven't played it, if you have, you'll know this already, but in For Honor, you use the right thumbstick to block, and you actually have to pick the right direction. So that's 3 inputs there between the left, the right, and the up. There's no down attack. There are actually a few heroes that do attack you. There's a shin kick and a toe stab, but they're unblockable attacks. Those particular ones you're going to have to dodge. And that is with the X button on the PS4, so you'll get a little prompt that your opponent's doing an unblockable attack, similar to the kanji you get in Sekiro, and then you know that you'll have to dodge that, or you could try to parry it, but that's a high risk move there. And depending on how good you are with parries and how slow the attack is, you actually might have a good time parrying it and get the advantage there. But speaking of parries, they're also a little more complicated than in Sekiro. A lot of the times when I'm watching people play Sekiro, or even when I'm playing Sekiro, you just see the guy, Sekiro, just moving his sword up and down and up and down, and that is because whoever's playing it is just tapping the L1 button trying to get a parry. Pretty similar, or pretty redundant. Kinda, I wouldn't want to say childish, but it's pretty simple. I think that's a better word. Just L1 and that's it. And For Honor, again, you have to pick the right direction, just as you would with a block. But the parry is actually R2, which is the same as the heavy attack if you're on PS4. So if you go for a parry and the timing's off, you're going to get hit during your heavy attack. And if your opponent feints the parry, or feints his attack, and you hit R2 to try to parry it, then he can parry you. So it's just like, there's so many different layers to the combat in For Honor that it's like even more so than Sekiro, so that's why I was want you guys to try it out if you haven't, because I think you'll find it pretty interesting. The dodges, I already mentioned, there's not really too much to that. You just dodge. Pretty simple. Another thing that's in For Honor that is kind of unique is the guard break / grapple. There are grapples in Sekiro, but you can't do them. Enemies you fight will be able to grapple you, and you just have to jump out of the way or dodge out of the way. But in For Honor, you can just hit the square button on PS4 and you will either grab or interrupt someone else grabbing you. There's a lot of grabbing going on, I must say. There's probably some lawsuits going around in the For Honor community. But that's pretty interesting. If your opponent is using a shield a lot, you can just try to do the guard break and interrupt them. And just go for... I mean, it's different for every character, but Lawbringer, you'll get a free heavy attack from either the left or the right after you guard break someone. So that's a really great technique to do. But like I said, all your opponent has to do is hit the guard break button and they will block it. So there's a lot to keep in mind there. And plus, you have to worry about feinting your own attacks to throw your opponent off guard, maybe to bait out a parry. And the only attacks you can feint are heavy attacks. Hit R2 and tap the circle button, and your attack will stop midway. It'll drain a little bit less stamina. And obviously, if your opponent goes to try to parry that, there's going to be a free heavy attack coming your way that you might have a chance of parrying. So let me know what you guys think. If you have not played For Honor, or even if you have, compared to Sekiro, do you think this is complicated enough to where people would like it? Do you think it's too complicated? Or do you think it's just right? I'm, like I said, enjoying it ever since the Lawbringer got a nice semi-buff. I've been having a lot more fun with this game. And I do like as well how it's zoomed in a little bit more. In Sekiro, a lot of the time I was feeling like I just wish I could get a closer view on my opponent to decide whether or not I should dodge or jump over an attack. The kanji's easy enough to see, but sometimes, depending on the view, you can't really see if your opponent's doing a thrust, in which you'd want to dodge or do a Makiri counter, or if he's doing a sweep, in which case you'd want to jump or do the jump kick. So I think For Honor is a little better in the view aspect. And I gotta say, it's a really fun game if you like PvP. I wouldn't recommend the story mode, really, necessarily. It's there, it's okay, but nothing special. They did add a little arcade kind of mode thing. I haven't really messed with that. You might actually need some DLC for it. I have no idea. But it's super fun for the PvP anyways. And if you're doing a one-on-one, I think that's really where the game shines. You really get to get into this intricate controller setup, these intricate controls, and you feel like you have 100% control over your character. You can choose which way his weapon's facing, you can choose when you're gonna dash away, attack, you can feint attacks, guard break, all that stuff. So if you haven't tried it out and you see it at a reduced price probably by now, I mean, it's been out for such a while, but they just added a new character, they upgraded sort of the Lawbringer and Raider, so some people are playing it in addition to the fan base that is always playing it. If you do want to check it out, I think now is a great time, and I don't think it's going to die anytime soon either, so I think it's a safe bet. This is Moose Torrent, and I'll be back with another video for you shortly.
Round 3. Ad mortem inimicus!
你中招了！你中招了！
Victory! Round 4. Ad mortem inimicus!
你中招了！